Imagine discovering the world's oldest temple, perfectly preserved for millennia. Not because it was lost to time, but because someone intentionally buried it. This isn't a story of destruction or abandonment. This is the story of Gobekli Tepe over 12,000 years ago. An ancient civilization took their monumental creation and deliberately covered it with tons of soil stone by stone, layer by layer, as if they were hiding it from the future. Was this an act of protection, a sacred ritual, or was it a warning? Why would anyone go to such lengths to hide what might be the very birthplace of civilization? To understand the scale of this mystery, you need to grasp just how old Gobekli Tepe is. It predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and is thousands of years older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. It was built at a time when humans were thought to be simple hunter-gatherers. There was no metal, no pottery, no writing, and supposedly no agriculture. Yet, here it stands, a complex of massive, perfectly carved stone circles, with T-shaped pillars weighing up to 20 tons, adorned with intricate carvings of animals and abstract symbols. This level of engineering, of organized labor, simply shouldn't exist for that period in human history. It rewrites everything we thought we knew about our own past. And then comes the impossible twist. After centuries of use, every single one of these monumental circles was carefully, methodically, and completely filled with earth. This wasn't a natural event like a landslide or a sandstorm. This was a deliberate act, carried out over generations. The people who built this incredible place were the same people who decided to bury it. When archaeologists, led by the late Klaus Schmidt, began excavating the site in 1994, they expected to find ruins. They thought they'd uncover the collapsed remnants of an ancient settlement, worn down by thousands of years of exposure to the elements. Instead, they found a time capsule. The massive stone pillars were pristine, standing upright exactly as they had been left. The detailed carvings were sharp and clear. There was no wind erosion, no water damage, no collapse. Everything was miraculously intact, preserved because the entire site had been buried like a precious museum exhibit, sealed away from the world. But as the excavation continued, the mystery only deepened. The soil used to fill the enclosures wasn't clean, sterile dirt. It was packed with debris, countless animal bones, broken stone tools, and other bits of what appeared to be everyday waste. It was almost like an ancient landfill. Think about that for a moment. Someone took what was clearly a sacred, monumental temple, the center of their world, and covered it using their own trash. Why would they treat their holy site with such apparent disrespect? This paradox is at the heart of the Gobekli Tepe enigma. It's an act of preservation mixed with an act of defilement. It just doesn't make sense. So, why would they do it? This question has baffled experts for decades, leading to some fascinating and sometimes controversial theories. The first, and perhaps most dramatic, is the idea of protection from a catastrophe. Some researchers believe the builders of Gobekli Tepe foresaw a monumental disaster on the horizon, a cosmic event like a comet impact, a catastrophic flood, or a sudden dramatic climate shift. The Younger Dryas period, a time of abrupt climate cooling, coincides with Gobekli Tepe's timeline. In this scenario, burying the site wasn't an act of abandonment, but an act of preservation. They were creating the world's first knowledge vault, a message in a bottle for a future civilization to find, ensuring their wisdom and their story would survive the apocalypse. The second major theory is that the burial was part of a ritual cycle. This idea suggests that each stone circle had a limited lifespan. Once a temple had served its purpose, it was ritually killed or put to rest by being buried. Then, a new, often smaller circle would be built nearby. In this view, burying the old was a necessary step to make way for the newest ceremonial end to a chapter. But this practice is entirely unique. No other ancient culture is known to have systematically buried their own temples on such a massive scale. If it was a ritual, it was one exclusive to the people of Gobekli Tepe. Then we enter the realm of more mysterious, even fringe, theories. The carvings at Gobekli Tepe are a puzzle in themselves. They depict a rich menagerie of animals, snakes, foxes, boars, and cranes, but also strange, stylized humanoids without faces and symbols that some have interpreted as celestial alignments. Could the burial have been an attempt to hide forbidden knowledge? Some researchers propose that the builders weren't just burying stone and dirt. They were burying a powerful ideology, a system of belief that they, or a subsequent culture, wanted to erase from history. Perhaps a new religion or social order was rising, and the old ways had to be sealed away, physically and symbolically, to ensure they would never return. In this light, the burial becomes a deliberate act of cultural suppression, hiding a past that was deemed too dangerous or heretical to survive. One pillar, in particular, draws the focus of these more dramatic theories. It's known as the Vulture Stone, or Pillar 43. It features a complex scene with a headless human figure at the bottom and various animals, including a prominent vulture and a scorpion. Some archaeoastronomers believe this isn't just a random carving. They argue it's a date stamp, a sophisticated star map depicting a cataclysmic cosmic event. They V-match the symbols to constellations and claim it records a meteor impact that occurred around 10,950 BC, triggering the Younger Dryas climate shift. If this interpretation is correct, it means the hunter-gatherers of Gobekli Tepe were far more advanced astronomers than anyone ever imagined. This pushes the purpose of the burial into a new light. Was it a memorial for a world that was lost, a tomb for a civilization destroyed by the comet? Or was it proof that these ancient people recorded a warning for the future, a warning they sealed in stone and buried for us to find? Some theories go even further, suggesting the builders of Gobekli Tepe were not the originators of this knowledge, but the inheritors. They may have been the survivors of a lost, even more advanced civilization, a proto-civilization, and Gobekli Tepe was their attempt to preserve its memory. The eventual burial then was the final act, the closing of the book on a chapter of human history we have long forgotten. In the end, we are left with this undeniable fact: Gobekli Tepe wasn't abandoned. It wasn't destroyed by invaders or ravaged by time. It was intentionally, carefully, and purposefully hidden. Someone made the conscious decision to bury it, to seal it off from the world. Was this act born out of fear of a coming apocalypse? Was it the final step in a sacred, cyclical ritual? Or was it an effort to hide knowledge considered too powerful or too dangerous for future generations? The truth remains buried, locked away beneath thousands of tons of earth and 12 millennia of time. But one thing is absolutely certain: the builders of Gobekli Tepe didn't just leave their history behind for us to find. They buried their greatest secret along with it. Thanks for journeying into the past with us. If you want to explore more of the world's oldest and most profound mysteries, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss another journey into the unknown.